Yes, go.
Okay. Life happens. All one can do is be prepared. One way to do this is by having a first aid kit. 75% of deaths happen before the patient ever reaches the hospital. So the closer the time of treatment is to the time of injury, the less you risk the exposure to the elements and infection and several different things of that nature. Everyone should know how to make, handle, and use a first aid kit in case of emergency. For those who don't have a first aid kit already, a few options to consider. You can have a pre-made kit, or you can have a homemade kit. Each one of these has its own merits. However, if you get a pre-made kit, you may want to supplement it with several different things like water and blankets and other survival materials. One thing to be sure of is location. You might want to have a first aid kit in your car. You might also want to have one in your house near the kitchen because that's where most injuries occur. Also, you may want to carry one with you, at least a small one at all times for emergency situations. And also make sure everyone knows where it is, because it doesn't do anyone any good underneath the pile in the corner of your kitchen where no one can find it. Some injuries that may occur are skin abrasions. These, what you want to do for these is you want to clean your hands, you want to stop the bleeding, put antibiotic ointment on it. You also want to cover and change the dressing every once in a while, make sure that it's not getting infected. Another type of injury you may deal with is rashes and allergic reactions. You want to avoid contact with these, therefore not spreading it anywhere else on your body. You also want to cool and soak it. It helps with the itching, and it also helps release the irritant that's gotten in your skin. You also want to put anti-itch cream on it, because no matter what, you're going to itch subconsciously. You're just going to do it. It happens. One of the things you want to be careful to include in your first aid kit are like basic supplies. For example, you want to have your anything you would have in a basic medical cabinet, like bandages and antibiotic ointment and all of that stuff. You also want to include any medicines that a family member may need or on a regular basis, just in case you're stuck in a survival situation where you can't get to it in time. You also want to include some different things like water and blankets and all that sort of thing. Medicines you may want to also include are antihistamines, antibiotics, anti-itch creams, painkillers, and any medication, like I said, that your family member needs. The Red Cross, in order to supplement your knowledge, you can take classes there. They offer survival classes, they offer first aid kit training. They also offer like CPR training. This is good to have in case of emergencies and that sort of thing. You also want to check and make sure that none of your medications have expired. Even though some of them most likely have a grace period afterwards, it's still good to make sure they're in date. Like I said, I'm stressing the point, make sure you know where your first aid kit is located. Your family should also know, and they should also know how to use any material you include in this for any reason. Make sure your first aid kit fits the season and the climate of the location that you're at or wherever you're traveling to, and that sort of thing. In any situation, a full stock first aid kit is a necessity for the safety of everyone involved in the situation. You want to be sure of your supplies and know how to use them and have the proper training to do so in an emergency situation. In conclusion, I say this: hope for the best, plan for the worst, and ignorance does no one any good.